Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Ultimately, if companies don't differentiate, they're going to go to the wayside with the legalization with the Farm Bill back in October of 2018 that legalized hemp, that legalized CBD. And so there's a lot of mom and pop shops out there offering CBD with their brand on it, but without differentiation or adding a niche, neat, new experience. They will all go to the wayside when it's commoditized and prices race to the bottom and no one can afford to stay in the game, which makes branding even that more important to help them stay afloat. The cannabis industry has always had a bit of an identity crisis in terms of branding. And after all, the plant has been both medicinal and euphoric inducing properties. So it appeals to different types of people for different purposes. CBD is a cannabinoid with analgesic and anti-inflammatory properties similar to THC, but it differs in an important way. It doesn't induce any psychoactive effects. So this means that while there's a significant overlap between consumer bases for the two types of products, THC is limited to people who are open to feeling quote unquote stoned to some extent. CBD only products, on the other hand, appeal to all adults who lead a healthy oriented lifestyle or want a natural way to relieve physical and mental stress. This could be the product line that exposes cannabis to an entirely new market segment made up of those who have never considered the plant before, strictly because they were turned off by THC's psychoactive effects. If CBD manufacturers are to target this segment successfully, they'll need to make sure that their marketing and positioning strategy resonates with that type of user. So to understand this market better, Brightfield Group has conducted intensive research on CBD dominant goods, including those derived from cannabis and others on hemp. Hemp and cannabis differ in many ways, but most notably in this case, hemp varieties of cannabis contain only negligible amounts of THC by nature, so hemp CBD producers specialize in medicinal products by default. The majority of marijuana-derived CBD products, on the other hand, are released as line extensions by companies that also specialize in THC-dominant products, which could be oriented towards either medical or recreational consumers. While there are many differences between the two sides of the industry, one that made Brightfield's analysts scratch their heads was the difference between the top-selling product subcategories in the hemp and marijuana-derived CBD markets. For hemp-derived CBD tinctures and oils, consumption formed focus on the ease of medicating up to nearly half of the total market. In the cannabis-derived market, on the other hand, tinctures and oils comprise just under 8%. Conversely, in consumer surveying conducted by Brightfield, the cannabis-derived CBD users did not report a higher preference for sugar candies than hemp users did. In fact, CBD users across the board ranked vape cartridges, tinctures, oils, and topicals as top choices. So why are cannabis-derived CBD sugar candies selling so much more? According to the Brightfield data, sugar candy is the top-selling edible subcategory in the cannabis market at large, comprising 15% of all non-flower sales in 2017. So it makes sense then that cannabis manufacturers launch CBD products as extensions of those lines, thinking of them as product variants. But if they want to tap into new market segments who will use the product as a complement to their wellness-oriented lifestyles, selling candy that appeals mostly to recreational consumers is not the best approach. Manufacturers hoping to successfully market and sell CBD-dominant products must rethink both their development and brand strategies altogether. So if you're thinking of launching a CBD line, it may be worthwhile to ask yourself the following questions. Is my flagship product more popular with recreational consumers or medicinal consumers? And given what I'm producing, can my brand potentially resonate better with recreational users or medicinal users? As a business owner, it can be challenging not to get bogged down in day-to-day tactical decisions at the expense of making thoughtful, long-term strategic decisions. So if you're considering launching or improving your CBD line, comprehensive and actionable insights can help you ensure your marketing strategies are contributing to brand equity and not holding you back from reaching your potential. I can honestly say that I don't buy edibles at stores because they're capped at 100 milligrams of THC. It's simply just not enough for a heavy user like myself. But not only that, it tends to be a lot of chocolate and milk chocolate. So somebody who doesn't do dairy or wheat, I try to reduce the amount of sugar and alcohol intake as well, sort of living somewhat paleo or Whole30 lifestyle. For me, it means that nothing I can eat is in this rec store for edibles, very much like going to a Handy Mart. It's all milk chocolate or candy flavored chocolate. There's not even cacao in there. It's not even chocolate. So a lot of these stores have chocolate dominant edibles with a very low THC content. And so that combination is not, for me, I'm not their target market. And so hopefully with a more open marketplace, that CBD products will show that people are looking for maybe a gluten-free or vegan or just a healthier dark chocolate. Something with 70 or 80% dark chocolate is going to be better than milk chocolate, even though when I could eat dairy, that was my favorite. And now I can't, and so I want somebody else to produce something that is more of a superfood, which is going to be that CBD dominant, healthy oriented individual who wants that active cannabis lifestyle. And as we're seeing more and more companies and athletes branding towards an active cannabis lifestyle, we're seeing the runners and the athletes, people going to the gym that are trying to recover from a high interval intensive training, or just a sweaty, hot yoga mess. Somebody that wants that anti-inflammatory, or something with just terpenes even, to kind of reduce some stress. There's a lot of these options now for a more wellness, health-oriented individual. Brand loyalty is a major topic in any industry today, in particular in the cannabis industry. However, brand loyalty can be a tricky concept. So what exactly does it mean? How is it achieved or measured? And what are other tangible effects of strong brand loyalty? So this company, Brightfield Group, has researched some top brands in the cannabis industry as to why consumers select them. And what they found in the research of medical cardholders is that brand loyalty is a significant driver in purchasing decisions. So using the edibles market as an example, they found that 73% of consumers have a favorite brand. And once they find it, they're extremely loyal, with 60% of these consumers choosing that brand at least 3/4 of the time. Quote, brand loyalty is as important to the cannabis industry as any other, and perhaps more, because there are no long-established dominant brands, end quote. That's a tremendously powerful when you break down the numbers. Take California's edible market, for example. It's worth about $250 million right now, and it's projected to grow at $1.2 billion by 2019. The implications for existing brands is that they should exploit their first mover advantage, expand their footprint, and increase market share as fast as possible, because the next stage in the industry's life cycle is consolidation, where scale becomes essential. However, in this industry, expanding the footprint isn't so easy with the current regulatory challenges. That said, some brands are starting to do it, such as Chiba Chews and Bang, which are top 10 edible brands in multiple states, but there's a long way to go. Brand loyalty is important to the cannabis industry as any other, and perhaps more, because there's no long-term established dominant brands. The field is wide open, and although there are challenges to building that loyalty, the revenue potential is huge. And with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out.